about you, Chrissy? Can you? Yes. Yes. All right, so as we have people coming in and as we have Vernon doing his manly thing because we could not open up this bottle of wine of Markel Benai, I'm going to let you guys come on in and get ready for a great episode of Monday Night Juice. Tonight's sponsors are Markel Benai Wines, of course, wines for creating memories. You can go ahead and grab your bottle from Markel Benai at www.markelbenaiwines.com. Also, special sponsor for tonight is the Snack Shop and Kickbacks. They are hosting the Bougie Yard Sale on March 30th from 3 to 7 here at Kickbacks. Well, we're at the loft now, but downstairs at 8087 Vine Street. Again, this is March 30th from 3 to 7. You can have new or gently used items or purchase, sell, trade, anything of that nature. She's got awesome vendors coming in. Erner's having a little bit of trouble with that bottle of wine, but that's okay because he's gonna get it. So as you guys are coming in, please go ahead and share the video, like the video, comment as much as possible. Go ahead and drop your names in so that we know you are here. Let's say up George, thank you so much. I love how you've been here with us every week. Thank you for tuning in. Ashley, Latoya, Doug, Shauna, Jessica, Tiffany, thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in. Again, make sure that you guys are here, dropping your names. Yes, George, the bottle is giving him just a slight bit of hell. Just a slight bit.
The bottle's the bottle opener.
It's the bottle opener. Let's go ahead and put that out. The bottle opener is giving him hell. So, tonight we are talking about the single life. Some of us love the single life. Some of us hate it. Some of us dread it. Some of us can't wait to be single. Some of us, did you get a sweat?
I got it.
He got it, but it broke out into a sweat. Okay. Yes, Toya. Stay tuned in. Tonight we have a serial entrepreneur, but who I love to call an inspirationalist. We've got Vernon Jackson coming. He he subbed in for us a couple weeks ago, and we had a really good discussion about the single life and what it means. And how healing it can be. So I asked him, thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Listen, it was a bottle opener. I'm the victim here.
Thank you so much for that. Again, Markel Benai, make sure y'all get y'all's because it's so good. Yep, you just keep on pouring up there for me. Yep, that's wonderful. Thank you. Ash, what's going on? All right, so we're going to get into it tonight. Again, Vernon, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show.
Oh, my pleasure.
So thank you. We appreciate that. I do want to get into this topic because the single life is so... People don't understand how therapeutic the single life can be.
Fair enough.
So I want to get into your story. I want to hear more about you and what your journey was like. Mm-hmm. So let's start off by... We're going to say, are you single?
I am. I'm very single.
Very single. Okay.
And
let's talk about your journey and why you're single.
All right. So a little background about me. I was raised by a single mother. She had me when she was 17. Mm-hmm. And 3 years later, I had my sister. And my father, he chose to be, to pursue his career as a model, as an actor mm-hmm. at the time. And, there's a decision. And so coming up, my mom did the best she could. She just wanted to do everything she could financially and all those other basic things. Not basic, mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Everything that she knew how to do at the time. And so coming up, I never really had I'd never really seen like relationship fully.
Okay.
Not saying that she didn't want to, but as a single mother, young, she had her challenges.
Yeah.
And so beyond that, time progressed. My dating, my process. I didn't know if there was a role, was never coached, and if it was a coaching, if it wasn't an app for that,
Right.
so in growing in dating, it was like a lot of us, trial by fire, mm-hmm. And a lot of mistakes. And I got, I would consider myself having a high emotional IQ,
okay,
but still maintaining my masculinity, while also being able to articulate my feelings logically. But it's been a process. It's been intentional. And so dating, through my mistakes and trying to listen asking myself questions and whatnot.
Right.
It was confusing because I was hearing and I was experiencing one thing, and then but I was feeling and believing another. And so being single allowed me the opportunity to just be observant of not just of myself, but also of the dating realm. Other single women, seeing how other people may date or whatnot, experiences that are out there, traveling, seeing how people interacted with me in different cities.
I'm so glad that you're saying this and you're being open and vulnerable about it, because the reality is this is what a lot of us go through. So I appreciate y'all shouting me out. Toya, I see you. The other Toya, I see you. George, I see you. Dominique, Derek, Ashley, I see you. But I want to make sure that not only do I see you, but y'all go the extra mile and host a watch party. Make sure y'all tag y'all friends, especially the single friends or the single friends that the taken friends that need to be single. Y'all know who they are. Or the friends who are single but who are struggling with being single and finding themselves in that process. Because you touched on something really important, how there was no guide as a young man on how to go about dating. You know what I mean? Picking healthy women or what that even looks like.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of, like you said, trial by fire that you had to experience.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see. We've got Ashley says yes for the emotional intelligence. Kudos to you, Vernon.
Thank you.
And George says, I think being in a successful relationship, you need examples. That's why parenting is key too. What does that say? What does the rest of that say, Christy? Because it won't show me. Okay. But I George, I'm with you. I do agree that being in a successful relationship and as a parent can definitely help your child learn how to process that when they become an adult.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dad around. I had a stepfather, and me and my stepfather were pretty close. Up until a certain point, I went through things, he went through things, and it caused us to kind of rift apart. But it kind of caused us to rift apart at a time where I needed to learn how a man's supposed to treat me, and it was just the wrong timing for he and I. So I'm like you, it was just trial by error. I guess this is what we supposed to do. I guess this is how it's supposed to make me feel. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So that process, like that environment, not knowing and also not having guidance, and also not just having guidance, seeing the challenges and arguments relationship in the making up of, the grace that's given inside a relationship. Because not about, we're always smiling, we're always happy. It's about there's going to be times where you're going to argue or be in disagreement. We're both men and we're women, or whatever the aspect of the relationship is. But you're going to be different. But it's finding a way to communicate through the differences, and also seeking grace from your partner and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Communication is so important in any relationship. Mother, daughter, father, son, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is that your prerogative is. Communication is so important because, and then I love the fact that you touched on how to articulate and communicate your feelings. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of times that we and I know I'm guilty of this as a mother. I am so hard on my son, making sure that he's tough. You know what I mean? Because his dad isn't around. So I feel like sometimes I'm altering who he is because I'm trying to force something else on him, because I don't want him to suffer through certain things. So I'm like, you got to be tough. And then he's very good now at expressing his emotions to me, but I don't want to be so you got to be tough that I raise him in a capacity where I change how he communicates his feelings.
I mean, but that's and that is also the attend Crossroads every now and again, and one of the messages that they came across with was like the imitation and challenge. Is that there is an imitation of like, you're as a parent, you're grooming the masculine side of him, and whatnot, while also encouraging and fostering and creating an environment that he can express himself emotionally and that kind of thing. Which a lot of times if some parents go for over masculinizing their child. You know what I'm saying? And there are other parents that just go to like say the babying or over nurturing.
And see, in the beginning, I was accused of over nurturing him.
Yeah.
And so it triggered something for me as a parent. It was a fear that triggered.
To over-direct.
To now over-direct.
Yeah.
And now it took so long for us. I mean, he's 11. He'll be 12 this month, or this summer. But it took us a while to get to this point where he's comfortable saying, "Hey, I don't like this.
Yeah.
You know, this is how that makes me feel. Don't do that."
Right.
You know, to me, to a teacher, to a friend, to anybody.
Yeah.
He's finally starting to get comfortable, and I believe it's because I kind of backed off and I started to let him develop into who it is that he's going to be, while also trying to nurture and be firm at the same time. So it's a learning process for us both, really.
Of course. He's your first child?
No, he's my second. But my daughter's the same way. But my daughter's strong like me.
Yeah.
You know, she has me to look at. My son is just kind of like, I know I'm not supposed to be like you, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to be like either.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
But it's a process, no matter what it is. Like you know, my mom, she would say, like, you know, being a parent didn't come with a book, you know, nor does being in a relationship. You know, there are books for perspectives of what someone may have found success in theirs or their lessons learned from the past. You know, but the reality is, in the present, though, you know, you have to be emotionally and logically present with whoever you're engaging in a relationship with.
Absolutely.
You know? And that's part of the things that I learned, like, you know, in pursuing my single, or you know, growing where I'm planted in this single place.
Yeah.
Of like getting the things that I can live with.
Yeah.
Without comparing them to the outside world. Without saying, okay, what the outside world wants. What does the outside world want to see from Vernon Jackson?
Yeah.
Not or how does a woman want me to treat her? You know, like, well, I went from my place. It's like what I have the capacity to receive.
Yeah.
And what I'm in a place to give. And I'm okay with being imperfect and not being or not having all the pieces in order, because I leave room for the person who fits me to have a connection with. Not that I'm attracted to, not that it's just cool for the moment or X, Y, and Z or all the other stuff, but someone who I have a connection to help challenge me, love me in the process, and you know, love me through the process, you know, and vice versa. Of course, because you gotta love someone to be able to do that. But there are realities that I would not have accepted if I didn't look at all my past failures or past challenges that I had before.
But the fact is, you took the time to do that.
Yeah.
You took the time to do that, and people, I feel like sometimes they don't understand how healing, how beneficial, how therapeutic, like we were talking about, being single is. Because you can go through those experiences, but if you never take the time to stop and think and reflect on how you reacted, how you handled it, how it affected you, and process how you want things to go going forward, then you're going to continue to struggle. Exactly. You're going to continue to meet the same things. Someone had asked me a question earlier, and they said, I know you're a busy woman, but you know, don't you kind of get it in from time to time? And I'm just kind of like, getting it in from time to time can be beneficial to some people.
Yeah.
It's not beneficial to me. Yeah. Because as a woman, I feel everything, and I want to feel everything.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep confusing and mixing, you know what I mean, until I figured it out. So the hookup really isn't as beneficial to me as it might be to somebody else, because they know, and maybe they've found themselves and they have this foundation, but I have not.
Facts.
And because I know I'm honest enough with myself as I'm learning myself in this single life, that's something that I have to figure out before I can even go the next route to figuring out someone else.
Yeah.
People fail to realize that you can't figure out somebody else until you figured you out. You can't even love somebody else. You can be dependent upon them because you haven't loved you.
Yeah.
But you cannot love someone else until you have loved you, and you can't love them properly.
Facts.
You know
Facts.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of our comments is Latoya, sometimes we talk so much they stop listening. Dominique says, that's it. It's a great time for self-reflection and growth. Latoya says, yes, one of my favorite quotes is, listen to understand, not to respond. Miss Longmire said, communicating is important, but listening and taking action are also very key components. Latoya says, getting it in is not the solution. I agree, Toya. Getting it in is not the solution.
It's not the solution if you're looking to get it in order to get to love.
To love.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you gotta identify, like, the blocks. You know, I'm currently writing a book about my experiences right now,
Mm-hmm.
and writing a book is just hard as hell. You know, because it required me to pay more attention to me, way more vulnerable than I've ever been.
Yeah.
You know, but when you are in a place like, you know, like, you really have to like identify, yo, everyone isn't a forever like.
Yeah.
And if you know that you are a person where, man or woman, that when you become intimate with someone, that you will become attached emotionally or want more emotionally, you have to be responsible for yourself.
Absolutely.
To not engage with that person or engage with anyone unless you're in a relationship that suits your emotional needs. You know, because otherwise you're going to find yourself in a position where you're going to, you're arguing with the guy or vice versa about what you want, what you say you deserve, with someone that don't even know you. You don't even have you don't even have the foundation.
And that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
What in this process of being single for you, what has your foundation looked like, or how did you go about solidifying your foundation? How did you go about building it to make sure that when the next relationship comes your way, or when you decide to go and find it, that you'll be ready and take it into the next relationship?
No, real talk, like, it came from me, like, going through experiences traumatically. Allow me to fully feel, whether if I hurt someone's feelings or whatever, or even if I had my feelings hurt, or I was like, man, that's messed up, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and just really being honest with myself, and okay, when I ask myself a question, and I answer, by the time I get to the answer, and I toil with it, and I question it, and I come to the real answer of it, there are no more questions that can be asked that I cannot respond to.
Yeah.
So I know so the principles are built off of the experiences, getting down to the truth and the honest, not the uncomfortable honesty. The ones that make me like,
uncomfortable honesty.
Yeah, because like, I enjoy working out. I'm not a competitor, none of that type of, none of that. And I've grown to enjoy. In school, I didn't love challenges. Not testing. I didn't understand what it meant to have goals. I didn't care about it. But in maturing and building businesses and building a brand and whatnot, being challenged builds character. It builds muscle.
Yeah.
It's not about getting. I learned that it's not about getting to the goal.
It's about going through it.
No, and even it's that, but it's also about understanding and discovering what you are made of.
Yeah,
because
that's
you're
the journey, though.
But you're the consistent principle, and no matter what, because you get to the goal, that's a moment. It's over.
Yeah.
But discovering what you are made of, and because a lot of people, as a human beings, we fall back because we're not afraid. We have to think that we're strong enough.
Yeah.
So when you go through something from beginning to end, and you get to the end, you see, I can make it through.
Yeah.
Then you're like, well, shoot, like, what else can I do?
What else can I do?
Yeah.
Yep. Let me see. Michaela says your true character shines through adversities. George says so true. Going through challenges definitely builds character. Reese Denise says, "Come on, Vernon. That's the problem when we can't be brutally honest with ourselves. We can't grow." Jarvis says, "Soul ties. They are real and they are definitely difficult to break." Absolutely, Jarvis. Toya says, "Sadly, I believe the Black community hasn't been properly taught how to deal with our feelings." Which, Toya, I agree with you on that. One of the things that I wanted to touch on, and I want to touch on this for Reese Denise, but also for you, because I love how you talked about being brutally honest with yourselves. I used to be the kind of woman that sat back and thought, niggas ain't shit. They horrible. They do this. They lie. They do. You know what I mean? And then I turned around and realized a lot of my good friends were all with amazing men who didn't do that. And so I really had to be brutally honest with myself and say, okay, Ashley, you attracted niggas that ain't shit.
Right.
You are putting yourself in a position to continue to deal with men that are like that.
Right.
And because of that, it's something about you. Now, I know we like to say, you know, if a man goes out and cheat on you, then it ain't, you know what I mean? Don't take that on. It's not you. It's not you. But when you find yourself in a cycle where you continue to date the same kind of no good ass people or people that are toxic, that are not good for you, it's because you are attracting that kind of person. And until you change you're going to continue to attract that kind of person. Right. Not because you are bullshit, but because you aren't even going the extra mile to treat yourself in a manner that you want somebody else to treat you. And that's something that I'm learning right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Creating a space to have the capacity to receive what you're looking for.
Because
if you don't, you know, people say what they want, what they're looking for, whether it's money or business or whatever it is, but they do not create the space that welcomes that. You know, like you think about that. You know, it's like, you know, where you say like a square hole is made to receive a cube and go through it.
Yeah.
So if emotionally you want someone, like practically speaking, emotionally you want someone who understands, who can ask you questions to understand and not to put you down. Emotionally you want someone who can challenge you, who can build into you. You have to have the space that you created that says, like, if it's a challenge, well, when you say that to me, what do you mean by that? I want to understand what you're saying, because I didn't see it in myself. So explain it to me from your perspective.
Instead of getting so defensive.
Exactly, and reacting.
I just had this happen to me last week. I'm so glad that you brought this up. And it wasn't even a intimate relationship that I had this happen with. I had it was a business relationship, and I had someone tell me about myself. And instead of the old Ashley, because y'all know I was ready to pop off. I was so damn mad. I was ready to pop off. But I humbled myself. Yeah. And I had to humble myself enough for me to soak in the growth for humbling myself. Yeah. Appreciate the growth for humbling myself. Yeah. And then be receptive to the message that was coming to me so that I could fix me. Facts. You know what I mean? When you decide to put yourself in a business relationship or any relationship, you better make sure that it's with the right people, because when they say something to you about you, you can listen and receive it with love and care versus with hostility and anger. Facts. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you ain't reached that point yet.
Yeah. There's never in relationships, friendships, business, X, Y, and Z. You know, some people who will tell you their perspective and their challenge about you to your face with disregard to your feelings are friends in reverse. Yeah. You know, because they're like, forget your feelings. It's about the growth. It's about what's actually going on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, there's never a perfect time for a hard conversation. There's never. You know, you like. People like, oh, people say you didn't say it nice enough, or the way you said it, or whatnot. If you are a person who respects and appreciates honesty, backed up with facts, you know, it may come at you discomforting, but you have to be able to center yourself to be like, okay, to listen beyond the noise. Yeah. You know,
because I just had somebody post and say, the defensiveness is an agitator. Yeah. It's an agitator.
Yeah, exactly.
Dominique, she said that was good. It amazed me, and from that one conversation, I was able to grow each single day. I felt it. I felt, you know what I mean? I had somebody else come at me the next day, reckless, and I was able to receive that. Like, maybe you having a bad day, and you didn't realize how you just came at me. Right. But I'm gonna take the message, and I'm gonna fix it, and thank you, and we just gonna go ahead and move on forward with business. But again, it was because of the growth and the brutally honest with myself that sometimes I have an attitude. Sometimes I can pop off. Sometimes I don't see the bigger picture. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But again, it's important to sit there and go through that, like you said. Yeah. What am I made of? What is my character going to be built upon as I go through all of these processes? Exactly. Let's talk about fear for a minute. Okay. Let's talk about, and I want you guys to go ahead and drop yours too, because I asked a question earlier. And for those of you that are tuned in, again, thank you for tuning in to a great episode of Monday Night Juice. We've got Vernon Jackson here. I love to call him an inspirationalist because that's what he is to me. I appreciate it. But make sure that you guys are tagging your single friends or the friends that need to be single. You know who they are. Make sure you're sharing the video, liking the video, and again, comment as much as possible. But I asked a question earlier about fear. fear of people who, are facing that single life but don't want to come, don't want to deal with it. I had people say some of the fear is being alone at night. Some of the fear is not getting that, hey, how you doing text from somebody every day. The fear is, are my children going to be hurt? The fear is, am I going to be able to financially afford, to be by myself? Yeah. So talk about some of the fears that you experienced and how you overcame those fears in this moment of being single.
All right. I tell you what, like, the fear, and I learned like God didn't give us a spirit of fear, he gave us a spirit of love. And love and fear cannot live in the same place. And so when I received that, not when I heard it, when I received it, I believed it, like no longer walking from a place of looking to be approved, but walking from a place that I'm already approved. Fear-wise, early on, it was more about like, just not knowing. Mm-hmm. Like now, I can say I'm not afraid as I go through my life and I date or I have my anxieties about, am I doing the right thing with this one particular person or whatever the case is or whatever, but not the fear in that. But when it comes to I have my anxieties about is seeing the dating platform as it is right now, seeing how whether marriage is, people who are in relationships that are dating or whatever, how whether the woman is not faithful or the guy isn't faithful or how people communicate or that kind of thing or whatever. I'm like so me not being in fear right now puts me in a place that I have a peace of mind that surpasses a lot of people's understanding. I am good. It feels good to feel good.
Yes.
Right? I know what it feels like.
I love how he just closed his eyes. Y'all could feel it. He said it feels good to feel good.
It does, though. It does. It feels good to feel good based on the principles I said it before and just where I am at in my life right now. Like it's just like I am happy being single, but I have the space to allow someone in if they fit. If they fit for a moment, we can make a lifetime feel like a moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's for forever, then you have to have that real connection that goes that way. And I understand, and not having fear, I say that because, or in addition to all that is that, or with, I allow people to change their mind. You may date me, get to know me a little bit, you're like, you know what?
I changed my mind.
It ain't what I thought it was, or it is what it is. But when you're absolute, you get missed by all the bullshit. You get missed by what doesn't fit you. If you go ascribe to the idea that you're supposed to be with one person, then you have to be absolute about what in terms of principle what you need.
Yeah.
But when that person that connects to you have the space to create, to be coached and challenged what God does through time. Because we can't manipulate time. We can't rush. You know what I'm saying? The comfort and the what time uncovers. You know what I mean? So if we go, I don't play boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah.
I would rather just date. We do what we do, or have a connection. We have a connection and move forward. But I only had a couple girlfriends. I think like 4. And I'm 35 right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't play that.
Yeah.
So. And I was just like, nah, if you don't see me as a forever if you just like me or you just see me as an attractive person or whatever the case is, but you're not willing to ask me questions about what I got going on in my life or see how you can make yourself fit in my life.
And I want to ask that because one of my questions for you was, it was what choices or decisions do you make that will determine this person is too toxic for me. This person is a great friend, but I don't really see more with her. This person is somebody I could definitely go the extra mile. How do you go about making those decisions and choices?
I try to answer by the category that you did it and that you explained it or asked it. It was toxic. I feel like it's too toxic when it's too much arguing. If every conversation it's too much of a debate. I'm not trying to get off of work, and be in a debate all the time.
Yeah.
Or if it's just I feel like it's draining me more than it's building in, or hey, it may be too much building in, maybe too much affirmation and too much whatever. Like I'm like, just not, and that's not. It's not that. The other one was.
Or how do you know this person is good people, but I just don't see her like that.
All right, okay, the friend zone type. You know what I'm saying? Good people, like, you know what? And all the streamlines are always energy and connection. You know, just being tuned to my energy. Like, okay, maybe this is not the right moment for us right now. You know what I mean? But where it's the friend zone is like. I don't have any kind of physical attraction to you whatsoever. You could be attractive, but I'm not attracted. I want to take a go. You know what I mean? If you try to kiss me, I'm like, oh, stop it, stop. Okay.
Oh God! What
listen
are you doing?
Here,
That's too close.
Listen here. Okay. I'm not a piece of meat. Okay. You know. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then obviously the one that you can see the extra mile, that's the one that you spent a little time with, getting to know, the conversation.
Yeah, the connection. My favorite ones would be like, you know, like we can. I've worked for her. I was intentional about approaching her, and she made time for me, and she received me, and our conversation, our dialogue was challenging, and for both sides. And we had a friendship. It was a rhythm. It wasn't about balance. It's about having a rhythm.
Yeah.
And so it makes music.
I like that. I like that a lot. Bria says, thank you for that question, Ashley. No problem, Bria. Latoya says, if you bother my peace, you are toxic. And I want to touch on that for a second, because I had somebody in my life at one point or another who I just loved this person, or so I thought. And I told him one day, I love you so much, but I no longer love the way you make me feel. And because of that, that's when I discovered you toxic.
Yeah.
You toxic.
Yeah.
Like, it's so many things about you that I love, and I want to ask you this question too in a minute, but it's so many things that I love, and I love this potential that you have. But the way you make me feel, I don't like it. Yeah. The anxiety, the whether or not you're telling me the truth this time, the you know, the extraness behind it. It's just so much that got to go into being involved with you that it's now negative, and it's just toxic all the time, and it's got to go. So you have to rid yourself of those. So what about when we meet the potential? Because the potential, to me, the experiences that I've gone through, the potential are what we call now the quote unquote the representatives. The potential is the representative. If you don't have it right then and there, then you're not ready.
Right.
It's not my job to go above and beyond to get you ready. Because I'm still trying to get me ready.
Right.
And I want to touch on that because, you know, you got some men and women that get into situations too early because they the ride or dies.
Right.
And then they stay because they the down chicks.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're the ones that ain't never going to lead it. The ones that's going to put up with it all until he ready to sit down, or vice versa, until she ready to sit down.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you go about meeting the representatives, the ones with the potential?
I don't do potential.
No,
I don't do potential. It costs too much. You know, like I have to be accepted for who you are right now. And again, and when we may be hanging out, dating, and you know, and going through our process, and if I feel like, you know what, I can't see myself living with this, or whatever the aspect is, then I'm just not. You know, it just and get it. People aren't fully complete when they get to you. You know, they're not like, you know, it's not like, you're like, oh, you know, food package, boom, here you go.
So, but that's what I'm saying. How do we, in our single lives, and I feel like I know what you're gonna say, but you've been dropping bombs all day, and I ain't figured those out. So, but how do we get to a point where we can sit back and say, you're worth the extra time? Because essentially that's what happens. Like you said, you get people who are not fully together. And I'm not fully together. But I'm together enough to know what I want. I know what my foundations are. I know what my character is. I know what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? How do we get to that point where it's like, it's okay for me to go the extra mile for you? How do we get there?
I get there and how I have gotten there was, like I mentioned, the person I was with, and our interaction with the rhythm that was going on, and I get to for me, I get to a point where I'd rather be with you than without you. That I notice the space that is void when you're not around.
Yeah.
Like when the conversation, I would rather talk to you than to anybody else.
That's when it's okay to try that.
Exactly.
I want to say that when you try that and you go that extra mile and it doesn't work out, you don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah.
Because what I do know is that life is about experiences.
Yeah.
It is. And although you decided to take that extra mile,
yeah,
and it didn't work, did not mean that you did not learn something from that experience. So you have to embrace that.
Facts.
That lesson.
And I'm very present. I'm very present. What I mean by being present, where I will ask the questions I want to know. I will engage. I will show you that I'm attracted to you. Mm-hmm. I will say what I want to say. I'll say, and I'll be honest with you, or whatever. I'll answer the question that you ask me, whether it can fuck this all up, or it can bring it together. And if it fuck it all up, then it will meant us to be together.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I accept all sides of it. But the reality is, if you so being present in that way, that someone, if we decide to go our separate ways, I may miss a connection or interaction, the time we had, or whatever it was that I missed. But it wasn't a connection there, and I didn't see it. Maybe this wasn't. It wasn't it.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to bring up the fact that, because I think we are very adults per se. I think we are very childish in this manner where if your relationship doesn't work, that person is a bad person.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it sometimes depends on the reason that things didn't work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he was out here just dog shitting you and, calling you out your name and treating you like crap, then obviously the brother got some things to work on. Same thing with the sisters. Because I know, oh my gosh, I have heard about so many women putting their hands on men's. My mind is baffled. It just would never happen on my end.
Yeah.
Because brothers is crazy. I mean, we crazy too, but I'm not about to fight a grown man. Maya says, date with a purpose. And Toya says, two broken people can actually heal each other if they are willing. George says, yeah, that's true, but it's so much work, which I do agree with too. And And Toya, I do agree with you. Two broken people probably could heal each other, but I think that the benefits of coming into a situation healed on your own is so much better, because I think that two broken people have to go through so much before they heal each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have to go through things on their own, and then they have to go through things together, which in my mind is slightly toxic before it gets better. Per se, if you have somebody that you're dating and this person's got trust issues, you got to go through above and beyond. You got to go through so many hoops to get this person to break that mentality in order for them to even be able to start to accept the relationship and the good that's coming out of it.
Right.
So I do agree, but then I just feel like it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
It defeats the purpose.
Yeah, and let's be clear. I have my challenges. I have the areas where that I know that, where I know I start liking someone. Mm-hmm. I also get an anxiety where like what is this? What's going on?
Right.
'Cause I don't know what's going to happen next. Uh-huh. I'm a Capricorn. Listen, I'm all about being in control.
Yes.
And when I said earlier about being a highly emotional, aware individual, mm-hmm. But a Capricorn, that we be emotional, but not having control is out the door.
Yeah.
So when I allow myself to be emotionally connected to someone, there's a responsibility I have from my heart that I have to what's going on.
And listen to what he said. He has a responsibility for his own heart. I feel like a lot of times when we meet that person, we give the heart away and we just be like, to hell with the responsibilities that I'm supposed to have. Yeah. You can never do that.
And that's that following your love shit.
Yeah, you can never do that.
When you follow what you doing, you follow. You're head over heels. You don't know what's happening. You lose touch reality. Can't touch nothing. You trying to figure your way out through life. It's not what I want. I want to.
See, and I want this blissful feeling of love, but I am confident because of my past experiences, enough to say I want that blissful feeling of love without losing my damn self in the process.
Exactly.
And I feel like sometimes that's what people do. They go through that. They lose themselves. I told y'all this before. I was in a very, very long relationship. And when we broke up, the first 2 weeks after we broke up, and I knew it was over, because I was ready for it to be over. Yeah. I went to the grocery store and bought the cereal that I liked that I hadn't touched in years.
Yeah.
And I broke down in the damn grocery store. Like, I had a full-blown meltdown over cereal in the grocery store. But that's because you get to that moment where you lose yourself.
Yeah.
You forget the things that you love. You forget the things that you like or you don't like because you're trying to appease and accommodate the likings and the needs of someone else.
Yeah. But let's be clear, though. Like, relationship is about that, though.
It is.
I'm like, you know, I hope I don't come off. I'm not for a relationship. I'm for marriage, anything that people like bring themselves together with. But the reality is that, like in the post I said earlier, like we may learn how to survive as being single, but it does not mean that we will flourish inside a relationship, right? Yeah. And the thing is that when you're single, I'm great in this space. Mm-hmm. But when but finding the connection with someone that you're doing this with, that's a process. Yeah. That you like the self that you were as a single person cannot be the person, or all the attributes cannot be the person you are inside the relationship. You know what I'm saying? There has to be adjusted. You have to be adjusted. Yeah. So like, yo, that's how I always been. It's not in this situation. That's not going to work. Not for me. I'm not trying to change you. However, I want you to know what's happening, right where I'm coming from. That's on the table. Yeah. You think you know what's going on. You do what you need, and we're having a conversation about it because I want you to fix it. I want you to know, and I want the same thing back.
I'm so sorry.
You know,
DB, I'm sorry. DB said something and it threw me off. Yeah. Michaela says, ain't that the truth? Or are men are searching for their mothers and it's relationships based off of dependency. Latoya, shut up. What is wrong with y'all? Stop doing that, y'all. Let me see. George says people make the mistake of giving their partner the responsibility of healing them, and that's wrong. And I do want to touch on that because I was also hearing something that you said that was really important to me. When you get to that moment where you in a relationship with somebody, no, I don't want to change you, but I do want your best and my best to make us both be great.
Right.
I want you to instill in me certain things that take me to the next level because you can. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's because I'm healthy enough during my single time where I can receive what you're trying to give me in a healthy state of mind.
Facts. I'm not trying to change you, but this part of you, and how it connects with me needs to change. Yeah. You know, hey, let it. You know, oh, you don't want to change it? I get it. Just know what and when this happens, I'm going to be frustrated.
So talk about the different levels of relationships.
Oh, like there's, when you touched on it earlier, there's like, yo, whether it's you're engaged with someone, like, you know what, I'm attracted to you, this is pretty much all I want. You might get comfortable with someone just to do that. You know what I mean? Men and women do the same thing. It's how, you know, they call them what friends with benefits or situationships, you know, really. That, you know, it's like
when did we bring that word up?
I don't know, but I
created that word.
I compare it to like this. That's what I say, right? You work a job. You may like the job. The job may pay you decent, may pay you good, but you don't love the job. Yeah. And so so the higher ups come to you and say, "Hey, we want you to be a manager. You want to be a manager?" You be like, "Nah." Why would you want to be a manager? I'm asking. Why would you want to be a manager?
For me, I wouldn't want to be a manager because I knew I wouldn't be in here that long.
Right.
I have no intention of staying.
Right, and the manager has more responsibilities. You respect the title. Yeah, I'm not gonna feel what the expectations of that title will bring on to me. The same thing being a situationship. Yeah. Like, you know what? Like, hey, you know what? I like you, and I don't see it alone. And we may be comfortable with each other. Yeah, but it's not going beyond this. It's not. I am mature enough when dudes tell me like, yo, this is what it is. Like, that's all I have the capacity for. Emotionally, I don't want a relationship. That's all I want. It's not because they try and play you for a hoe. It's like they actually being honest with you to give you a chance to get out. This don't fit for you. Yeah. It's not about you.
And I love that. Them. I have met so many guys who, and not even on my end, but just you know, my male friends, like they're always like, yo, I told her that it wasn't going to be this. So why is she
Yeah.
flipping out and acting this way right now? I'll never understand. And ladies, I have to admit, sometimes we have to, that personal accountability is everything. You got to understand that when a man is telling you something about himself, you do not diffuse the situation by telling him you ain't like that or it's not that big of a deal. You listen. And then you process that. And then you decide if that's something you can deal with. And guess what? If you can't deal with it, that person is probably just meant to be a good friend of yours. It doesn't make them a shitbag. It doesn't make them a horrible guy. It doesn't mean that they're players or they do you like they've done every other one. It's just y'all are not a right fit. It's crazy because with the exception of, I said this on my show before, with the exception of my child's father, and that's just because of the kind of father that he isn't. But with the exception of my child's father, I am friends with every last one of my exes. Every guy that I may have messed with, been in a relationship with, I'm friends with all of them because guess what? We just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But y'all are not horrible people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not damning you to hell because you didn't love me the right way.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me see. They talking too much. DB, I cannot. I will call you later. Latoya says, hey, Ashley, you should also do this for married couples as well. Relationships, period, or work. Toya, thank you so much. If you're willing to come talk about that, inbox me and let me know. George says, let's pass the collection plate around. Ashley says, who wants to be on a date? So, long story short. They're trying to put us on a date. So the whole half of this conversation has been about me and you.
Americans.
Yes. Dave says it sounds good till we turn y'all crazy switch on. Then y'all already stuck. You know what though, Dave? In all fairness, I will give this to you tonight, ladies. We do that to ourselves. We turn our own crazy switch on because we were blessed with an intuition for a reason. And a lot of us will ignore those intuitions. A lot of us will see those red flags, me and too, will see the red flags and ignore them. They will, see the signs that this might not be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ask the question and can tell that the question is bullshit and will still be like, but I'm going to just let them have this pass.
Right.
How many passes, Vernon? How many passes do we give?
I mean, like y'all give or like that we give as a
single individuals. What are healthy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I see 3 red flags and I'll be like, nope, I can't do it. I'm out.
I got 2.3 red flags.
Okay.
3, if it's a solid 3, it's like, And if I really want this to work, I'll give it a 4.6.
4.6, okay.
Yeah, if I really do. But that also goes to the communication. I put out on the table. I put, please, I'm praying, like, come on, change it for the kid. Change it for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, but two solid.
Ooh, Dominique say close them legs and them red flags get way more visible.
Close them legs and
the red flags get way more visible.
Oh yeah, I mean, is this before or after?
That's what she says. Close them legs so that you can see.
Oh yeah,
the red flags.
Yeah.
Keep them legs closed. When the legs spread wide open, if the red flags kind of look a little pinkish, and then we ain't sure if they purple, and they might just turn into a blue, and then we really don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You gotta know. Okay, what am I getting into this for? Is this do I actually? I've been discovering, like, I'm the kind of person where I got an energy of what I want when I like somebody off the rip.
Yeah. And
I give them time to develop that or to take it away. Right?
Absolutely.
Some people, I've come to realize, like, it takes them some time and hanging out with you to see what it is. They might want to be finessed a little bit. I don't like finessing. If I like you, I want you.
But I understand that. All right. So this is my last question.
Okay. And
then we're going to close it out. Because if DB hop in my inbox or he posts something else crazy on my comment section, we gonna fight at 8087 Vine Street, either upstairs or downstairs. Toya says, I think red flags depend on the individual. You know what's good for you and what's not. I can agree with that because everybody is different. What my red flag may not be yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Michaela says people skip the getting to know each other stages because they avoid those difficult questions. Which I feel like, you know what? In your book, I'm going to put this out there because y'all heard he was writing a book. So make sure y'all check that out when it's out. In your book, I would love to see those those kind of questions?
Mm.
You know what I mean? What are the questions that you ask someone? And I mean, some of them are typical. You know what I mean? But again, what are the questions that you ask someone to the point where those representatives can't bamboozle me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what though? I think there are some women or some people who ask those kind of questions too early on. You know, or too back to back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
it's a damn interview,
exactly.
job interview.
Yeah. You know, like it's like, well, you know, you might have to like tease it out a little bit, let it come naturally. You know, or like, you know, put yourself in a position to be more relational than anything else. You know what I mean?
Right. So this is my last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How do we, or what is it that we are supposed to do in our singleness that keeps us happy? There are so many times where single people, we feel lonely at night, or, you know, funny little note, I just took myself on a date for the first time ever in my life.
Amen.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to feel completely stupid by being there.
Yeah.
I think I took myself shopping. I went out and I had took myself to lunch,
Yeah.
read a nice book, you know, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I feels good to feel good.
Yeah.
I felt so good afterwards. Right. But what other things can we do to keep ourselves happy in those moments of singleness? I definitely vouch for doing the things that you would want somebody to do for you.
You know, what can we do to keep ourselves happy in a single place?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to you. I would say, like, listen to you. Become happiness and joy comes from accepting like what is and living out from a place of the truth and knowing what you are, who you are, what you are about. That can be challenged, but at the end of the day cannot be questioned. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, all the things that we do in terms of the appendages, the actions, taking ourselves out or whatnot, those are appendages from the place of like, I know it feels good to be happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, if I'm not happy, I'm not good. I'll be honest. But reality is like, no, like I'm joyful, I'm happy because I accept myself for being who I am and where I am, and my faults and my challenges, and I have no problem apologizing. And it means I'm not about me not being perfect. It's that I don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
But I'm willing
to learn.
To learn and be in that process.
I love that. I love that. Ashley says you have to learn to be happy with yourself, especially if you want to be happy with someone else. And I definitely agree with that. Because what I've learned in this journey of, you know, going through it myself, that I can't even fully be me with someone else because I haven't learned me yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you spend so much time trying to appease or adjust your life to fit in with someone else's, and you haven't taken that time to fully learn you, so you don't even know what you really going for.
Exactly.
You just out there.
Yeah.
You just out there.
I'm at the point right now, if I get with somebody, like, you know what, like, hey, you going through something, I'll hear you out, but this, I know the point I need to check out.
Yeah.
And I'll own it, and then I'll come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it's a better time. But I'm not going to sit in that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not leaving you.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting in that.
In that with you.
You know,
yeah.
Right. Now, we can talk about it later on.
Right.
You know
but
what
I
I'm saying?
can't let myself get wrapped up into that with you.
Right. We're not in the same
because it's not, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not healthy for me.
Yeah.
It's not healthy for me. Well, you know what? This was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For coming and just being vulnerable and open and honest. You know what I mean? And letting it be known what we all go through in our singleness. Not just men, but women too. You know what I mean? We all are trying to figure out, is this for me? And not this meaning you, but this meaning my life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? My life, my journey, my trials. What is this what I'm meant for?
Yeah.
Building character, like you said. So thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about what to expect from you coming up.
You know, really, you know, I'm the kind of person outside of writing the book. I have, you know, another business venture that I'm working on. I'm not saying it'll be all posted. You know, I'll claim it when it's owned. You know what I mean? But just know that 2019 for a lot of us is about ownership and partnerships. And I really, you know, I'm in the city for a reason, so I'm trying to like.
I love that. This is what I've noticed. 2019 for men have been about business and partnerships.
Yeah.
2019 for women is all about self-care.
Yeah.
And finding out who we are. So I love that because it's like we're both on the right path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like last year, women, we killed it with the networking and the business ventures.
Yeah.
We killed it.
Yeah.
You know what
Small
I mean?
Groups,
yes. You know what I mean? But this year, it's like, it's like we're trying to figure out who we are while you all are going about the business route. And I love that because as a black woman, I feel like we inspired you all.
Yeah.
And that is important to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're so disconnected for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And I love to see that instead of being intimidated by us or feeling some type of negative way about us, you all were inspired by us to do something else and to do more and to be great too.
That's how it works though. That's how we work in rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you own yourself, when you become great, people, they recognize that and they want to be great. Not everybody. But those who fit, you know, I want to close out my last thought if I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to really, affirm if you're in a relationship, y'all going through your challenges and whatnot, like everything does not have to be fixed right then and there. A lot of times the pressure of trying to fix a problem that could be tabled can affect the idea of the relationship. However, take time, allow the other person in front of you to express their brokenness without feeling like you are the problem, and disassociate yourself as being the problem, and more focus on the actions that are creating the problem or the challenges in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? So, figure it out. Love through it, and and remember the bigger picture. And a lot of times we have to be broken before we can actually, get to see the bigger picture, because we, or not be broken, but our idea has to be broken in order for us to see the bigger picture through it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much for coming on to the show. Make sure that you guys check us out next week. We are talking about feminism and what it is that we all experience and go through as women, but how men relate to that as well. I got my girls from Beauty in the City coming. It's a group of like 4 or 5 of them, I believe. They're all gorgeous women. They all contribute to what it is that we are doing here in the city as far as self-care and being beautiful, making ourselves beautiful, allowing ourselves to feel beautiful. So make sure you guys check us out next week, Monday, 7 o'clock, live here at the Loft. Shout out again to Vernon for coming on, and shout out to you guys so much for taking the time to tune in to us tonight, and we will see you all next week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yo.
That was lovely.
Yeah?
That was lovely. Yeah. 157 comments. And it was an hour. So.
It was?